Hello. For today's Bible verse, I was planning to do Corinthians again because that's what I'm reading. But it just reminded me of something. There was this girl I used to know, and she would like show me interest and signs and stuff. But I wasn't really, I guess, running game on her like I should have. So when she selected another guy, I guess she had some regrets. So she was all like, she told me you're very humble, and I didn't really get it, but I think now I get it because most guys when they meet girls they're trying to like show off and whatever, brag or whatever. So there was this verse today by St. Paul that was talking about being braggadocious and being a pimp, but no, not really. But you'll see what he's saying. So we want you to know, brothers, about the grace of God that has been given among the churches of Macedonia. For in a severe test of affliction, like coronavirus around the world, their abundance of joy and their extreme poverty have overflowed in a wealth of generosity on their part. So right now, even though I'm broke, everybody's coming after me and trying to get something or the other. Usually they're trying to get money, but they're trying to get time and your energy more than that. Money is just like a control factor, I think. But anyway, speaking of control factor, I was just thinking about this movie called The Happiness Cages. It has another name, but I can't remember it right now. And it was featuring Christopher Walken, and he was like a ex-military soldier who they tried to put in a mental hospital, kind of experimental mental hospital. They were trying to create a super soldier, somebody who was very smart, but they would also like brainwash him and put him under intense mind control so that he would be the perfect slave working for them and not for himself. So I thought that was a good movie because it had a lot of MGTOW moments, because one of the guys was a blue pill simp, I guess. But anyway, so some people in this severe test of affliction, with their abundance of joy and extreme poverty, have overflowed in a wealth of generosity. For they gave according to their means, as I can testify, and beyond their means of their own accord, begging us earnestly for the favor of taking part in the relief of the saints. So I think he's talking about the brothers here, not the sisters, because the sisters don't do that. They're trying to get whatever they can get without giving anything back, or giving much back. So these guys, they wanted to help with the relief of the saints, and they were begging St. Paul for the opportunity, I guess. So and this not as we expected, but they gave themselves first to the Lord, and then by the will of God to us. So they didn't just blindly follow St. Paul, they actually followed God, and through God, St. Paul. So they were the best associates or followers or helpers, I guess. Accordingly, we urged Titus that as he had started, so he should complete complete among you this act of grace. So Titus was also helping. But as you excel in everything, in faith, in speech, in knowledge, in all earnestness, and in our love for you, see that you excel in this act of grace also. So he's telling them to follow Titus, I guess, or his path. I say this not as a command, but to prove by the earnestness of others. So not as a command, but to prove by the earnestness of others that your love also is genuine. So he's just saying this to them so that they can prove their love is genuine through others, by the earnestness of others. Where are we? For you know the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ, that though he was rich, yet for your sake he became poor, so that you by his poverty might become rich. And in this matter I give my judgment. This benefits you, who a year ago started not only to do this work, but also to desire to do it. So this is for the brothers doing the good works. And so now finish doing it as well, so that your readiness in desiring it may be matched by your completing it out of what you have. So he's saying even though you think you have nothing, you can still do a lot with what you have, because you have the earnestness of desire, or readiness of desire. For if the readiness is there, it is acceptable according to what a person has. For if the readiness is there, it is acceptable according to what a person has, not according to what he does not have. Which makes perfect sense. Oh yeah, so bitches be all like, what do you have or what are you gonna have? Before I get in, I treat you a little better as a woman ought to treat a man. I guess that's what they're trying to say. But yeah, so that's a game right there. That's a propaganda, you see, because if the readiness is there, it's acceptable according to what a person has, not according to what he does not have. That's why women were not given the right to decide their own partners in the past, because they don't have a good decision-making process or the intellectual capacity to discern between different types of men. So I totally agree with the philosophy of treating women like property, or let them just do what they're doing with the dating, free love, and we know how well that is working out for them. Well, actually, it's really turning them into monsters right now with all the internet facilitation of the dating world. Oh man, it's pretty terrible, disgusting. For I do not mean that others should be eased and you burdened. So others should not be eased and you burdened, which is what I was doing in the past. But that as a matter of fairness, your abundance at the present time should supply their need. So I should have been more abundant with what I had. I was trying to hold back what I had to get to somewhere new, I thought. Your abundance at the present time should supply their need, so that their abundance may supply your need, that there may be fairness. So like I just thought last time I read this that in the natural order, the natural world, everything like kind of gives to the other things. So sun gives energy to the plants, and the plants give energy to the rabbits, and so forth. As it is written, whoever gathered much had nothing left over, and whoever gathered little had no lack. So here he's talking about a perfect society. What in Moore's Utopia, I think H. Hitlode was referring to. And what it says here is that the people who are gatherers or good at gathering, they gathered a lot, but at the end of the year they didn't have much, they didn't have anything left over. And the people that weren't able to gather as much, they also had enough to sustain themselves. Whereas today we see with the 80% of people are starving, and like what else? And the people who have are holding back and holding excess and overflowing in excess for the sake of security of the future. But that's creating an imbalance, and that's how civilization is run. But anyway, but thanks be to God, who put into the heart of Titus the same earnest care I have for you. For he not only accepted our appeal, but being himself very earnest, he is going to you of his own accord. So he's giving a positive role model example, I guess, to these people of Macedonia. No, Corinthia still, I guess. So with Titus, we are sending the brother who is famous among all the churches for his preaching of the gospel. And not only that, but he has been appointed by the churches to travel with us as we carry out this act of grace that is being ministered by us for the glory of the Lord himself and to show our goodwill. So I guess they have to, this is like a PR campaign for the Church of Jesus Christ, or the church, or the ministry of St. Paul. We take this course so that no one should blame us about this generous gift that is being administered by us. For we aim at what is honorable, not only in the Lord's sight, but also in the sight of man. So I guess back in the day, people were more distrustful of these philanthropic types who usually are just doing it for their own profit and their own name. So in order for him and his ministry not to be criticized, St. Paul basically is trying to watch his back and make sure his actions look clean and are clean. Not just are clean because they think it is clean, but that it actually appears and results to be clean too. So that's why we aim honorable not only in the Lord's sight, but also in the sight of man. And with them we are sending our brother, whom we have often tested and found earnest in many matters, but who is now more earnest than ever because of his great confidence in you. So I really don't understand what this great gift he is, but I guess it is the thing about the saints and providing them relief and using the excellence of faith, speech, knowledge, earnestness, and love of the Lord, and to prove by the earnestness of others that the love also is genuine. So anyway, so it's like talking about like self-sacrificing kind of service, I think. But that is done by the code, I guess. So that's what he's talking about so far. As for so they're sending the brother, who they talked about has a great speech abilities, and now has become more earnest because of you. And as for Titus, he is my partner and fellow worker for your benefit. And as for Our brothers, so the brothers of the past in Macedonia, I think, they are messengers of the churches, the glory of Christ. And so give proof before the churches of your love and of your boasting about you to these men. Oh, so give proof before the churches of your love and of our boasting about you to these men. So he doesn't say to brag about yourself, but he actually says to follow what the guidance, follow his guidance and the direction of the brothers and so forth, so that you can show your abundant love in the churches and so forth. So that was a very good message from St. Paul to Corinthians chapter 8.